What's going on, gardeners? On today's 2-minute garden tip, I'm going to show you a garden hack that I've been using for years that will help you sow seeds in half the time while increasing your germination rates. Today, I will be sowing lettuce seeds in trenches, and like most seeds, these should be sown 1/4 inch deep. And that can be tricky because if you make your trench too deep, things will not germinate. If you make the trench too shallow, your seeds will wash away in the rain or blow away in the wind. And if your trench is very uneven, you will have areas that may wash or blow away and areas that are too deep and nothing germinates. So you'll have spotty germination throughout. That's why I created this method. It gives me a consistent trench depth the whole way through and half the amount of time of digging. And to do that, we are going to use pieces of rebar. Now these are 3/8 inch pieces of rebar that I got from the concrete aisle at Lowe's or Home Depot. They come in 4-foot pieces and 2-foot pieces. So whether you need a long piece for making long straight rows or short pieces for short straight rows is your call. I find it helpful to have both on hand. So because this is a small raised bed with small rows, I'm going to use the 2-foot piece of rebar. And I have my rows laid out approximately 1 foot apart with some tags. So all I'm going to do is take this piece of rebar and I'm going to wiggle it back and forth and then drag it down as I wiggle it. And that right there is going to make a perfectly straight, almost perfect 1/4 inch depth row to sow my seeds. And I'll just pass it back and forth a couple of times, and then I will repeat the process until I have 4 perfectly spaced rows of perfect depth to sow all of my lettuce seeds. And there are our 4 perfect rows. You can see they are equally spaced and they are at a consistent depth. So now I can sow all of my lettuce seeds with confidence. So now we will sow each variety of lettuce in the respective trenches. We will make sure to maintain that consistent 1/4 inch depth throughout. Then we will lightly backfill the area with soil and water it in to lock in those seeds so they don't blow away. As you can see, this technique worked fantastic to give me perfectly straight rows of lettuce with excellent germination rates in the first half of this raised bed, and I have no doubt that the 4 rows I just sowed over here are going to have the same results in about 10 days. And this technique is not just for lettuce, it's for any crop that you direct sow. All of my carrots, the chard, the rutabagas, the parsnips, the parsley, and beets that are in this bed were all sown with the exact same method. I get perfectly straight rows and excellent germination every single time. And that's today's 2-minute garden tip.
If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing and hitting the bell to receive new video notifications, and check out our Amazon storefront and spread shop in the video description for a list of the gardening products I use and awesome custom designed apparel and other gear. Your support is greatly appreciated.